everybody. It's great that I have opportunity to talk to you today. As the internet connection is not perfect, please, if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer after the presentation, because during the presentation it will be too hard. Anyway, my name is Marcin. I'm located in Kraków, Poland, so it's great that because of the internet I have an opportunity to talk to you today. Next time, I hope I will be sitting with you and it will be easier to talk. And today I will be talking about FerretDB, so MongoDB truly open source alternative. So this whole presentation is around 20 minutes, then we'll have some time for questions and answers. And yeah, I'll tell you something about myself, about the reason why FerretDB exists, why we choose Postgres as the backend for our solution, and some examples of our customers who are already using FerretDB. About me, as I said, I'm from Poland. Here you have my LinkedIn QR code. So if you have any questions, if you like to give me any feedback or have information to just to share, feel free to add me on LinkedIn. I will be happy to discuss. And if any topic, I used to work for Percona, used to work for Exclusive Networks, so one of the biggest value-add distribution here in Eastern Europe. And for more than 9 years, currently, I'm responsible for technical alliances and building relationships between companies. The most important, I am an open source person, so yeah, this is a topic close to my heart. I want to start with this sentence. So from my perspective, working with data should be as easy as possible. What does it mean? If you are a developer, you are working on application code, you already have a lot of things that you have to figure out, design problems, and so on. So database is a kind of things that it's complicated, it has to work, but as developer, you don't really want to focus on that part, to be honest. For me, database should be, first of all, open, with no vendor locked in, with no legal constraints, with just easy possibility of use in your application. So all kind of supportive communities, proven vendors is something that it's necessary here, because if you lose your data with your databases, you lose basically everything. So that's why there is also not so much databases around the world. Let's look at the survey from developers, what kind of databases they like to use. This is a Stack Exchange survey from 2022. I can't wait, to be honest, to 2023, because I believe that Postgres will be a little bit higher. So probably currently it will be the first database, because it's involving a lot. But what's from our perspective is important is MongoDB. So MongoDB is the first NoSQL database that developers like to use in the application. So the question is why? First of all, MongoDB, it's just developer friendly. You don't have to think about schemas. It's a query language to implement in application code, and it's document oriented. So in the general, the developer like to use MongoDB. But there is only one constraint connected to this database. It's unfortunately not the technical part, but the legal part. So licensing. I'm not the lawyer, so if you really don't take this as a legal advice, but you can ask your legal teams in your companies about this kind of licensing. And unfortunately, you will receive some constraints connected to that. I can highly recommend this blog post at Percona blog done by Peter Zajcev and Matt Jankovic about why SSPL is not good for the business, and why it's forcing to lock in. In general, we asked some customers, some users about this, and things that the reasons why they don't like to use SSPL we received after this kind of talks. It's first of all, it's a legal risk because the license text is not clear. It's forced to vendor locked in, because in general MongoDB now is trying to sell Atlas everywhere it's possible. It's a great solution, but not for everybody. If you don't want to use one of the hyperscalers, it's just not possible to use MongoDB Atlas. And also, it's a totally vendor locked-in and proprietary software. So for some companies, open source part of MongoDB was important. And this is more or less the three most important things connected to licensing. And our founders decided to do something with that. As you can see, even in some marketplaces, here is an example of Sivo marketplace, there is still MongoDB version available as a service, but it's the old outdated version before SFPL introduced. So you can imagine how hard it is to keep it without bugs, keep it up to date with newest version and so on. So in long term, this is just not the right solution for and sustainable solution. So what we decided to do, we decided to create a fully open source alternative. Basically, FerretDB is written in Go. It's a MongoDB compatible layer. It's just a separate container that works near your Postgres instance, and it's released under Apache 2.0. So as you can see, we took only the drivers from MongoDB, which is still on Apache 2.0 licensing. They have to be because whole MongoDB tools and ecosystem is being built around the drivers. But we removed the SSPL part. So FerretDB is translating and store data in Postgres. This is the way how you can fully implement fully open source stack in your environment. For us, MongoDB compatibility means that all kinds of tools, all kinds of applications that are already using MongoDB should stay as it is, should be the same. So basically, FerretDB works as a drop-in replacement in many cases. We are still working on migration. Migration tools, I tell you a little bit more later, but basically what you're supposed to do is just for now do MongoDB dump, MongoDB restore with FerretDB, and the applications should not see the difference between in working. This is a screenshot, some screenshots from my personal environment. As you can see on Docker desktop, there are two containers running. One is Postgres, one is FerretDB on local port 27017, and MongoDB Compass connected to this port just reported as it's yet another MongoDB instance connected to it. So this is a community MongoDB in its recognition. It's a little bit old version, it's FerretDB 0.9 and Postgres, as you can see from Mongosh, but still it was working quite well. Currently, we are on version 1.21 and close to release 2.0 version. From your side, this is a Postgres meetup. So why we decided to run and build FerretDB around Postgres? First of all, supportive community and fully open source software. So for us, it was important. We are not MongoDB experts. We are not PostgreSQL experts. So we need community around it. We need experts who know how to build the right environment and then put FerretDB on top only to focus on and let us focus only on the transition layer. Also, existing JSON compatibility was something what was important for us. Basically, FerretDB is taking binary JSON from MongoDB and translating on flight to JSON-B to store it in Postgres. There are some differences, known differences, but we are working on these edge cases and trying to fulfill all necessary use cases for the users. What is important, FerretDB, it's transparent for Postgres, so you can use a kind of Postgres flavor you like to. There is plenty of different guides and manuals on our website and on the different vendors' website. FerretDB basically allow you to do whatever you want with whoever you want to use case. It's the best for you. But not only Postgres is something that we are focused on. So there is also a handler created by OSPO SAP for SAP HANA. So this will be extremely performant database at some point. And also our users required something with some really small footprint. That's why we decided to add SQLite as one of the options for a backend for FerretDB. In general, the whole backend of FerretDB, it's designed in a way that you can add multiple backends, multiple databases, because we are focusing only on the transaction layer. So the question is, MySQL, yeah, we are working on that as well, of course. There is a community interest in adding MySQL to FerretDB. It's almost done. Probably during the next 2 or 3 releases, I hope it will be available. But still, for us, the most important part, and we remains dedicated to Postgres mostly. So MySQL is for us more community-driven effort. And this is also the power of open source. If you are looking for something, if you want to do something with open source, it's free to go, and yeah, you can just start code and do it for your example. Regarding applications, basically FerretDB now is working with different frameworks, different stacks. It's up to you what is just to try. If something is missing, please report it to us, because FerretDB currently is a little bit more than 2 years on the market, and we just need some guidance from the users. And yeah, this is the most important part, that we are already working with applications. We are already in use in production, but still we are working on our software to be as possible, as close to use cases as possible. So feedback is what is the most valuable for us from the community. 2 examples of use of FerretDB. This is a company from Germany, Enmeshed, and they are specialized in delivery information, personal information between different organizations in secure way. And one of the customers just said, okay, your software is great, but you are using MongoDB inside. We cannot dedicate to this because of the licensing. And they started to work with us to replace MongoDB by FerretDB plus Postgres. And now it's working. So if you have any questions regarding this one, yeah, feel free to jump to our community Slack. The owner of the company is also there, and we are in touch. And he will be happy to give you more details about the solution and about how they decided, how they work to move from MongoDB to FerretDB. And second one, Fastnetmon is a security company, mostly focused on telco and preventing DDoS attacks. They are running their software in appliances on the edge. And what was important for them, it was something with a really small footprint. They started to use MongoDB, but it was too heavy. And then writing the whole application was too complicated. Currently, we are working to replace all kinds of workloads they have to FerretDB. More of this kind of examples you can find at our blog post. So here is, for example, one of the guides how to use FerretDB with Pulumi. So really different things and the different topics are mentioned there. Feel free to go and check. Also, documentation is quite rich. Here is an example how to create the migration process from MongoDB to FerretDB. So if you want to do that, feel free to test your application and let us know, is it work or if we should improve something. Okay, I'm not with you, so I'm trying to do everything quite quick. And yeah, so current progress about FerretDB, we are at 1.21 currently. What is important for us, more than 8,300 stars on GitHub, almost 100 contributors to the code. So yeah, we are already working with all different CMS and frameworks. And what is important for us is your feedback, as I said. So please test that, please star us, please let us know how it works and what we should improve. We are also available as manage service providers already. So Vultr, Tembo, and Sivo, you can go there and just click to run FerretDB instance. A lot of documentation is also on our friends' website. So from your side, from example, Appscode, it's quite an old company. They recently add FerretDB to the KubeDB offering. And yeah, feel free to test and check. Also, there is easy to way to test FerretDB by courtesy of Sivo. So try.ferretdb.io. They are spinning up clusters for 2 hours, so we can just play with the recent version of FerretDB. Last but not least, so why to choose FerretDB from our side? To be honest, for me, the most important part is the open source and the support of the community. This project is dedicated for you. It's dedicated for people who would like to use it and want to replace MongoDB, whatever the reason, and want to use backend of the choice. So we are just providing freedom for developers. What is important? We are now strongly working on FerretDB 2.0. It will be much more feature rich and much more performant database that it's currently. As we are on Meetup, I always encourage also to join our document database community. This is a community around document databases. So every 2 weeks currently we are doing the talks around the topic, and what we would like to promote is to using NoSQL database, but in general, in long term, we would like to create a similar standard to SQL. So there is no standard for NoSQL databases. We want to do that. We are talking with different companies around the world to be sure that this kind of standard can be established. In long term, it's good for the market because it's easier to compete. People have possibility to move data from one database to another. And yeah, we just want to popularize this kind of databases around the world. Okay, so thank you from my side. It's all. I will be happy to answer your questions. So feel free to ask now or just ping me on Slack. I hope you have really great meeting today. And as I said, hope next time we'll be able to join you. So thank you. Yeah, it's a little bit lucky, but so to be honest, I'm not the engineer, but yeah, I'll be happy to provide you a little bit more detailed answer. If you can just send me the information on LinkedIn or on email by Harry. I consulted with our engineering team, or you can just go to our community Slack and put the question there on general channel, and it's the easiest way to reach out to our engineering team. Mhm. Yeah. So at the beginning, we decided to work more on the compatibility layer instead of performance. So yeah, performance issues, of course, it's additional layer, as you said. So it will be always additional performance. There is some queries that we are just pushing down directly to Postgres, so it works okay. There are some slow queries, but this is the idea for FerretDB 2.0 to work on extension level with Postgres to skip the transition layer. So this will be the performance. In performance increase dramatically, and we believe that will be on similar level than MongoDB itself. Also, there is some things in MongoDB that are not so great. For example, transactions, and Postgres is far better with transactions than MongoDB. We are not supporting transactions yet because there was no question from the market to do that. But we believe, for example, this kind of operations can be just handled by Postgres better than MongoDB itself, so it will be faster. Sorry, can you repeat? Uh, they are stored in JSONs are stored in Postgres, right? Yeah, yeah. And FerretDB is only translating on flight. Yeah. So regarding those tables, yeah, it's as I said, FerretDB 2.0. It will be probably the first iteration where we'll be really focused on performance, and we'll be able to give you a better benchmark. Sorry, I really can't hear this one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah, probably Mike is directed to Pardon. Yeah, great. So the difference between the files that are stored in the database, right? Uh, yeah, okay, so I understand now. So yeah, this is also better to ask our engineering team on community Slack, to be honest, because yeah, they are just working on design. Yeah, so basically, for example, if mm, different Yeah, so when we start FerretDB, the POC shows up. It was 1,000 stars immediately. because people and big companies started to ask, okay, we need alternative. We are totally locked in with Mongo. We can't rewrite the application code. It's too resource and time consuming. And we just need to run somewhere, because sometimes, especially if you are using MongoDB Atlas, the only way how you can increase performance is to put the bigger credit card to your bill. And yeah, so this is the use case for the big companies. Different managed service providers reach out to us because um, because we just providing something that MongoDB is extremely expensive. If you are a managed service provider and want to provide as a service, as a service offering, you are in direct competition with MongoDB Atlas. MongoDB company don't like this, so the fees are huge. So that's why they ask us for using for just provide FerretDB. And yeah, in general, if you have any kind of a cloud offering and you want to stay open source, avoid fees and legal constraints in the future, FerretDB is the only alternative on the market that allow you to do that. Yeah. Not yet. We are definitely not on the place that we can, for example, work on the transaction. We can work on transactions and it will be probably better. But yeah, we just don't have use case for that yet. For us, the most important for now is compatibility. But we have some, internal discussions about the MongoDB behavior, because sometimes it's not logical. And the question is, should we correct it and use, for example, Postgres, how Postgres creates some things or store data, or should we imitate behavior of MongoDB? So yeah, this is still something that we are discussing. For now, we are focused on compatibility most. So yeah, we're just reproducing the different behaviors of MongoDB. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so to data stored in FerretDB, you can go to both ways, from MongoDB related tools or Postgres related tools. Some of users also do this kind of example of use, just ask us to stay with one environment. They don't want to maintain separate MongoDB and Postgres environment. So yeah, they are staying only with Postgres and FerretDB, just, creating the compatibility for the MongoDB part. So yeah, regarding version, we are supporting latest Postgres version, so 16, I believe. And yeah, but I need to double check this in documentation. You can also go to the docs right now and just check it, to be honest. And yeah, regarding database, yeah, we are working with Postgres mostly. Uh, if somebody want to use FerretDB to translate it to I don't know, any different NoSQL database, it can be done, but somebody just need to create the whole handler to use that. So this is the similar situation that that MySQL community want to use FerretDB. We are not focusing on that. We are supporting the engineering efforts done by the community, but there's folks from the community who are working on the handler. So in general, it's up to you. It's possible to just use all-in-one image for FerretDB, so it's a packed container with FerretDB and Postgres. But you can also use just a separate container of FerretDB and put it to your favorite Postgres flavor, for example. Everything connected to this is on our GitHub. So yeah, on the first page there are images with FerretDB, and also on our documentation there is explained how to use it. Depends on your needs. So regarding SAP, this is a kind of similar situation. The best person the best people to ask is guys from SAP OSPA office. I can share a link directly to the GitHub repo with SAP work on with FerretDB. Thank you. It was really great to see all of you. I'm really glad that I have opportunity to talk to you today. And yeah, have a good networking later.